सिन्धुपेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav classes. So, last couple of weeks we have been discussing from this special section of the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, the allegorical story of Puranjana, in which we have seen how Puranjana comes in contact with Puranjani and makes his residence in the city of nine gates with lot of facilities, etc. etc. At one point of time, somehow or other, he wanted to go for hunting and he went for hunting, giving away his wife. He goes for hunting, he hunts, then he felt bad and came back, and then seeing how his wife was very much morose, that she was neglected, she was not considered before going out for hunting. He promised that hereafter I will never do anything without your consent, and I will never go out without taking you along with me, something like that. Since then, the both of them were living happily. By the way, they had 100 and plus sons, 10 daughters. They got married and they also gave birth to so many children, etc. etc. In the meantime, he became old. So on the other side, Kalakanya, whom no one want to marry, but once she approached Nardamuni when Nardamuni was wandering on the surface of the earth, and Nardamuni said, "No, no, I cannot marry you." Then she became very angry. She cursed, "I, you, how can you dare to say that you will not marry me when I proposed myself? I curse you not to stay at one place. You keep wandering." Nardamuni was happy. But Nardamuni said, "No problem. You cursed me, that is fine. But I'll suggest you that you please go and get married to, there's a person called Bhaya. He is a suitable person for you to get married." So she went to Bhaya. And Bhaya said, "No problem, no problem. Actually, I'm happy to marry you. But I'll give you a better proposal. These people who rejected you, I will help you that you don't have to marry me alone. You can marry everyone. Whoever rejected you, everyone should be your husbands. For that, I'm here to help you in every way. By the way, my soldiers will help you. My younger brother, Prajwara, also will help you. And I myself will help you. I accept you as my wife as well as my sister. Because in Adharma lineage, the brother and sister gets married. So you become my sister, and then I'll marry you, and both of us, along with my younger brother Prajwara, and also along with our Yavana soldiers, we will help you get married to all each and every person who rejected you. Yes, so they all came. They are wandering everywhere, getting them married to Kalakanya. Finally, they came to the city of Nine Gates, where Puranjana was residing. Until now, from the birth, from the very beginning, the five-hooded snake, the guardian, was fighting with the Gandharva soldiers, 360 male Gandharva, 360 female Gandharvas, days and nights. But now Yavana soldiers are more powerful. Yavana soldiers are indicative of diseases, mental and physical diseases. They are so powerful that the snake is already tired fighting with Gandharvas. It got defeated easily. So the soldiers told Kalakanya, you enter first. The Kalakanya entered first. Following after her through the nine gates, all these soldiers entered. Behind them, Baya entered. The person becomes old, afflicted with physical and mental diseases, and fear invokes. So they were after entering the Yavana soldiers after entering this palace, they began to destroy each and every room, began to destroy each and every wonderful constructions in the entire city. So the city is not fit for living anymore. People are afraid. No one is there to fight and protect. Then suddenly, finally, Prajvara entered. He entered just by the entrance. He set fire to the entire palace. So no one was able to tolerate that fire, and everyone want to get out of that home as early as possible. including the bodyguard, the five-hooded snake. Everyone want to get out of that home. So that is where we stopped. So when the entire building was on fire, and everyone along with the bodyguard want to get out of that home because no one, how can one tolerates when there is intense fire? So how they escaped from that burning palace? What happened to them after their escape from that burning palace is the subject matter for the rest of the chapter. So let's begin with the text number 16. Uh, Duhitra pautramscha. Someone please repeat.
दुहित्रपुत्रपौत्राश्च
Jami jamatruparshadan.
जामिजामातृपार्षदान्
स्वत्वावशिष्टं यत्किञ्चित्
सत्त्वावशिष्टं यत्किञ्चित्
गृहकोशापरिच्छदम्
गृहकोशपरिच्छदम्
अहं ममेति स्वीकृत्य
अहं ममेति स्वीकृत्य
गृहेषु कुमतिर्गृही
गृहेषु कुमतिर्गृही
दध्यौ प्रमदयादीनो
दध्यौ प्रमदयादीनो
विप्रयोगा उपस्थिते.
विप्रयोग उपस्थिते. King Puranjana then began to think of his daughters, sons, grandsons, daughters-in-law, sons-in-law, servants, and other associates, as well as his house, his household paraphernalia, and his little accumulation of wealth. King Puranjana was overly attached to his family and conceptions of I and mine. Because he was overly attracted to his wife, he was already quite poverty stricken. At the time of separation, he became very sorry.
Hmm. Since he was a foolish householder, accepting me and mine, concerning his household, he became miserable, impending separation from his wife, at the impending separation from his wife, because he was thinking that the entire house is burning. Till now, for last 100 years, I have been leading a happy, wonderful life in the company of my wife. Now I am going to get separate from her. That's what thought is there. He began to think of his daughters, sons, grandsons, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, followers, remaining property, house, treasury, and furniture. So Acharya explained that this verse and next verse was, this is not a metaphorical explanation. This is the general thought process everyone will have at the time of death. Of course, in our story, the Puranjana is Atma, Puranjana is intelligence, like that we been discussing from the very beginning. But here, but because at the time of death, the intelligence also follows along with the soul. The subtle body goes along with the soul to the next body. That is there. So there is no actual separation. But these two verses actually echoes the real situation that a person goes through at the time of death. So every person who is endowed with wife, children, daughter-in-law, son-in-laws, and friends, relatives, their only one thought at the time of death is, what will happen to them? What will happen to them? What will happen to them? Not only this, the next couple of verses also continue to describe the same, the mood of a person in general, what it is when he is dying. Yami means daughter-in-law. Pramadaya viprayote upasthite means when separate from a woman. This does not refer to his intelligence, since when the gross body of the jiva is destroyed, there is no separation of the jiva from the intelligence. Because subtle body also, only gross body left behind at the time of death, subtle body follows the jivatma. So in that way, these verses are directly describing the pitiable situation of the death of a attached householder. What to speak of attached, even any householder will go through same feeling. There is a concern what will happen to our family members. This refers to a conditioned jiva's normal material wife, the object of attachment, five sense objects, enjoyed by all the senses. The daughters and others mentioned in this verse are also referred to conventional daughters and relatives, not the symbols in the spiritual metaphor. So these verses, especially from this verse to couple of verses more, no need to see it as a metaphorical story, but see it as a actual story that happens in our life. Some say that at the time of death, the jiva thinks of his wife and sons, not of intelligence. No one will think that, oh, my intelligence was so good, it used to think so much, it has invented so much, I'm separating from my intelligence. Like that, no one thinks. So that is understanding. Others say that dharmic intelligence was previously represented by his wife Puranjani, but at the time of death, there is separation from dharmic intelligence, and joining with another intelligence. Just like when he went for hunting, he left behind his dharmic intelligence and went with a adharmic intelligence to hunt and for sense gratification, etc. So, like that, here also we can take when he's thinking about his wife means he's thinking about his dharmic intelligence. So, he will be going with a adharmic intelligence. Why? Because the discussion is about the Jivatma going to hell. If a person is dharmic for the entire life and will never go to hell, but Puranjana is going to hell, that means he had taken shelter of adharmic intelligence also sometime in his life. As a result of that, now he's going to hell. So at the time of going to hell, one he keeps away the dharmic intelligence and accompanies with the adharmic intelligence. If somebody want to take it as a metaphorical story, then take it like this. So that is the understanding. Because there are the statements such as Namai Anushashite Bhungte. His wife would not take her dinner until he had finished his dinner. So like that. This refers to a time before the separation from his dharmic intelligence. This will be explained later. The description in this verse presents the idea I am not satisfied with my actions of dharma. What should I do? Death is now approaching. So basically, this person still, see, I got my children, I got them got married, but my grandchildren are yet to get married. I need to get them married. I need to see their children. I need to see their education. I need to see them get married. So I have so many things to do. I'm leaving them behind means I'm leaving my dharmic responsibility behind. So in that way, he is thinking that I'm leaving behind my intelligence. So like that also we can think. So like there are different ways, but in any case, he was thinking that I'm going to be separate from all these people. Physical also, I mean, conventional also it is right. Metaphorical also it is right. Both the way we can take it. So basically, the idea is normally a person remembers all one's family members at the time of death. But in our current allegorical story, Puranjana is thinking that no, no, I have so many things pending to do. My grandchildren's marriages, so many things are there. I am losing that opportunity of performing so many dharmic activities in relation to my grandchildren. So I'm leaving behind my dharmic wife. So like that is thinking. So that way you can take. Then he further continues. The same mood will continue for the next 2 3 verses. लोकान्तरं गतवती मयि
Lokant
लोकान्तरं गतवती
अनाथा कुटुम्बिनी
मया नाथा कुटुम्बिनी
वर्तिष्यते कथं त्वेषा
वार्तिष्यते कथं त्वेषा
बालकाननुशोचति.
बालकान् King Puranjana was anxiously thinking, alas, my wife is encumbered by so many children. When I pass from this body, how will she be able to maintain all these family members? Alas, she will be greatly harassed by thoughts of family maintenance.
Hmm. The concern is when I go to another world, how will my wife, without a husband, lamenting for her children, continue to exist? So even while saying also, Acharyas are very careful to present Siddhanta. He is not saying that after I die, what will my wife do? He is not saying like that. He is saying that when I go to another world, Loka Antaram Gatavati, That means there is a birth after a death. He will certainly will take birth. There is a future birth also. So like that. So even in a normal story also, they kind of preserve the Siddhanta. You can see. So the point is, so when I go leave this body and get into new body, take birth elsewhere, what will my wife will do in relation to children, grandchildren, etc. Alone. It's like that. Namai anasite bhungte
तामे अनासिते भुङ्क्ते
नास्नाते स्नाति matpara
नाश्नाते स्नाति मत्परा
मयि रुष्टे सुशन्त्रास्ता
मयि रुष्टे सुसन्त्रस्ता
हर्षिते यत वाग्भयात्.
भर्सिते यत वाग्भयात्. King Puranjana then began to think. Prabhu, you are reading the next verse.
No, no, please.
King Puranjana then began to think of his past dealings with his wife. He recalled that his wife would not take her dinner until he had finished his, that she would not take her bath until he had finished his, and that she was always very much attached to him. So much so that if he would sometimes become angry and chastise her, she would simply remain silent and tolerate his misbehavior.
So he is just remembering his dealings with his wife. If I do not eat, she would not eat. If I did not bathe, she would not bathe. She was devoted to me. When I became angry, she would become frightened. When I scolded her, she remained silent in fear. Because she was doing everything following after me, when I leave her alone, so she will not do anything. So she will simply die. She will not eat, sleep, and do anything, and she will die. That's what is concerned. प्रबोधयति मा विज्ञम्
प्रबोधयति माविद्यम्
व्युषिते शोककर्षिता
व्युषिते शोककर्षिता
वर्त्मैतद्गृहमेदीयम्
वर्त्मैतद्गृहमेधीयम्
वीरशूरपि नेष्यति.
वीरशूरपि नेशति. King Puranjana continued thinking how, when he was in a state of bewilderment, his wife would give him good counsel, and how she would become aggrieved when he was away from home. Although she was the mother of so many sons and heroes, the king still feared that she would not be able to maintain the responsibility of household affairs.
Hmm. She would instruct me when I was foolish, when I was away. She became thin because of lamentation. Having many sons, she will not be able to perform household duties. So she would act like a guide to me, and she assisted me in taking care of our children so well. But now, why? How can she will take care alone? So like that, she would enlighten me. Who am a fool? When I was away, she became thin. How will she undertake the task? Though she has sons to take care of, she will die unable to bear separation from me. Once I went for hunting, and she became thin and so morose, so neglected, and now I'm going away forever. So how she will survive like that? कथं नु धारकादीना
कथं नु दारकादीना
धारकीर्वा परायणा
तारकीर्वा परायणः
परिष्यन्ते मयि गते
वर्तिष्यन्ते मयि गते
भिन्ननावा इवो ददौ.
भिन्ननाव इवो दधौ. Translation. King Puranjana continued worrying, after I pass from this world, how will my sons and daughters, who are now fully dependent on me, live and continue their lives? Their position will be similar to that of passengers aboard a ship wrecked in the midst of the ocean. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Till now he was thinking about his wife. Now he will think about his children. How will my poor sons and daughters, who are dedicated to serving me, remain living when I am gone? They will be like a shattered boat in the middle of the ocean. So, like I am like a captain. When captain is not there, where will the boat go from the middle of the ocean? Like that is thinking. My daughters were dedicated to serving me with a great affection in my old age. How will they remain? They will die from continual crying. Binna means cracked. So, like that, he was worried about his children, children's welfare. Evam कृपणया बुद्ध्या
एवं कृपणया बुद्ध्या
so शोचन्तं अतदर्हनं
शोचन्तं तदर्हणम्
ग्रहीतुं कृतधीरेणं
ग्रहीतुं कृतधीरेणम्
भयनामाभ्यपद्यत.
भयनामाभ्यपद्यत. Translation: Although King Puranjana should not have lamented over the fate of his wife and children, he nonetheless did so due to his miserly intelligence. In the meantime, Yavanaraj, whose name was Fear itself, immediately drew near to arrest him.
At that time, the determined Havana king called Fear approached to take the king, who was lamenting in this way, though it was not befitting, along with his wretched intelligence. Krupanaya Buddhya. So, as he was thinking about his dharmic intelligence and children and daughters and sons, all these people, that Baya person Fed came and catched him by hand and dragging him along with his wretched buddhi, Papa Buddhi. Because with Papa Buddhi he performs sinful activities, now he's supposed to taken to Yamaloka. तो अपना पापा बुद्धि के साथ उनको खींच रहे. He should not have lamented since he was actually a spiritual particle. Atadarhanam can also mean he did not deserve to be taken by fear since he practiced dharma. Though actually spirit soul should not be thinking about this. So from Tattva point of view, spirit soul is eternal. There is no death for spirit soul. So spirit soul should not be worried about death. And at the same time, and he does not deserve such kind of death because 99% he performed dharma, only 1% he performed dharma, but still he is receiving such a death that Yamadutas are coming to drag him to Yamaloka. So, like that, we may think, hey, one he is a very pious person, does not deserve such kind of death. But even though one may be 99% pious, one might have done 1% sinful activities. So one will be dragged to Yamaloka. पशुवाद्यवनेरेश
पशुवद् यवनेरेष
नीयमाना स्वकं क्षयम्
नीयमानः स्वकं क्षयम्
अन्वद्रवन् अनुपता
अन्वद्रवन् अनुपथः
शोचन्तो भृशमातुरः.
शोचन्तो भृशमातुरः. When the Yavanas were taking King Puranjana away to their place, binding him like an animal, the king's followers became greatly aggrieved. While they lamented, they were forced to go along with him. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Like an animal, he was led by the Yavanas to their abode. His retinue followed, lamenting and greatly distressed. So he was dragged to Yamaloka. He was led away like an animal by the Yamadutas. His life heir and other followers ran after him. Shruti says, Tam anukramantam prano anukramanti pranam anukramantam sarva prana anukramanti. The life air follows the jiva when it leaves the body, and other life airs follow the main life air. So when a person dies, the Mukhya Prana goes after him. Behind Mukhya Prana, the 10 pranas, Prana, Apana, Samana, Vyana, Udana, etc., they also follow the Mukhya Prana. So like that, we say na when a person dies, we say उनका प्राण चला गया. So आत्मा के साथ साथ प्राण भी उनके साथ चलता रहते हैं अगला जन्म के लिए. So like that. Is everyone following? Hare Krishna, any questions till now?
No,
No
Prabhuji.
problem.
Okay. Purim Vihayopagata
Purim Vihayopagata
Uparuddho Bhujangamah
Uparuddho Bhujangama
Yadatam Evanupuri
Yadatam Evanupuri
Vishirna Prakritim Gata.
Vishirna Prakrutim Gata. The serpent, who had already been arrested by the soldiers of Yavanaraja and was out of the city, began to follow his master along with the others. As soon as they all left the city, it was immediately dismantled and smashed to dust.
Hmm. When the snake, captured by the Yavanas, left the city was broken down and returned to the five elements of Prakriti. So the person, along with his buddhi and other things, he came out, and the five-hooded snake, that is Mukhya Prana and other pranas, they all came out. The city broke down to pieces because it was burning. It was already burning. The snake was captured by the Yavanas. The city returned to the elements. Prakritim Gata. You can see in this picture. The person is dragged to Yamaloka. All these are Yamadutas. At least in this picture, Yamadutas are shown nicely. Otherwise, they are shown very fearfully in Ajamil pastime and all. So behind him, the snake is there, the five-hooded snake, and behind him, snake, all the entire routine is there. Basically, the mind, intelligence, ahankara, chetana, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, their respective activities, desires, karmic reactions, everything follows. So, except gross body, everything will follow after the person. And the person is going ahead, all those animals, in the case of Puranjana, like Puranjana killed so many animals in the name of Yajna, and this the Prachinabari killed so many animals in the name of Yajna. Puranjana killed so many animals in the name of hunting. So all those animals which are killed by him during hunting, they are all waiting to pierce him, to give him the same pain as he was going towards Naraka. So this is how person will be taken to Naraka. Vikrishamana prasabam
Vikrushamanaha prasabham
yavanena baliyasa
yavanena baliyasa
na vinda tamasavishta
navindat tamasa vishta
sakyayam suhrudam puraha.
sakhayam surudapura. When King Puranjana was being dragged with great force by the powerful Yavana, out of his gross ignorance, he still could not remember his friend and well-wisher, the Super Soul.
As he was being dragged forcibly by the strong Yamadutas, since he was covered by ignorance, he did not recognize the Supreme Lord, his friend, and his well-wisher from previous time. Paramatma is also following after him, but इनको समझ में नहीं आया ये कौन है मेरे साथ आ रहा है. So Paramatma is also there along with the Jivatma, but this Jivatma not looking at Paramatma. Maybe in this picture, so it is not clear, but we can think Paramatma is supposed to shown very beautifully, but not shown. But still, they will think that Paramatma is going in the front, who is not shown in the picture, but is looking behind only, behind that snake and others, all those people, with whom he was so much attached to. Even the Paramatma is in the front, but is looking only in the behind. So Paramatma goes ahead and Jivatma follows. Like that, we can take. So in that way, by ignorance, he did not know Supreme Lord, who was his friend previously also. Tam yajna pashaponena
संयज्ञपसवोनेन
samnyaptaye dayaluna
संयप्ताये दयालुना
कुठारैश्चिच्चिदु क्रुद्धा
कुठारैश्चिच्युतु क्रुधा
स्मरन्तो मे वास्य तत्.
स्मरन्तो मिवमस्य तत्. That most unkind king, Puranjana, had killed many animals in various sacrifices. Now, taking advantage of this opportunity, all these animals began to pierce him with their horns. It was as though he were being cut to pieces by axes.
The sacrificial animals that he had killed, remembering his sin, angrily chopped him with axes without mercy. As we saw in the picture, although the animals were killed by him, either in the sacrifice or in the hunting, they are piercing him on the way. The animals cut by his knife during material sacrifices began to cut him with axes. So, because he's telling for Puranjana, the Prachinabari was in performing so many yajnas. So, from that point of view, it is said. Even Puranjana also might have done so many yajnas. So, during his lifetime, the details are mentioned, but like that we can take. Now, Anantapare Tamasi.
अनन्तपारे
अनंतपारे तम कौन माताजी?
Magno Nashta Smriti Shama Sama
नो नस्ता स्मृति समः
Shashwati Ranubhuyartim
शाश्वतीरनुभूयात् तिं
Pramada Sangadushita
प्रमदाश्चङ्गदूषिताः
Tameva Manasa Grihnan
तां एव मनसा गृह्णान्
Bhabuva Pramadottama
बभूवा प्रमदोत्तमा
Antaram Vidarbhasya
अन्-
Anantaram Vidarbhasya
अनन्तरं विदर्भस्य
Rajasimhasya Veshmani.
राजसिंहास्य वेश्मणि. Due to his contaminated association with women, a living entity like King Puranjana eternally suffers all the pangs of material existence and remains in the dark region of material life, bereft of all remembrance for many, many years. King Puranjana gave up his body while remembering his wife, and consequently, in his next life, he became very beautiful and well situated woman. He took his next birth as a daughter of King Vidarbha in the very house of the king.
So, merged in unending darkness, devoid of memory, experiencing pain for infinite years, and contaminated by association with a woman, he remembered in his mind that woman, and finally was born in the house of a great king of Vidarbha, at the best of women. So, basically, as we saw in the picture, as he was going towards hell at the time of death, he was only concerned about what happens to his wife, what happens to his children, what happens to his daughter, sons, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, and property. This, that, he was only thinking about them. So he was supposed to become a woman. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalavaram tam tam evanti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. That is like general principle. So the same principle applied to Puranjana also. In the next life, he became the daughter of Vidarbha king. But in between, first of all, he went to Naraka, where Yamaraj told, "Oh, you have done so many pious activities. You have also done some sinful activities. First you have to go through the miseries, and then you can go to heaven and enjoy." for a long time. Then you go through the evolution cycle of creation. So like that, fine. So he went to hell. He went through punishments because he did a lot of sinful activities in hunting and all. Then he went to Swarga because he did so many dharmic activities. So he enjoyed in Swarga for a long time, Shashwati Saman. And then he has taken birth as a woman. So before this, he might have taken birth as a different animals here and there. But finally, one fine day, he has taken birth as a human being again, as a woman. So in between story is skipped. So that's why it is simply said that Shashwati Shama. Many years. Long, many long, because he performed so many pious activities, he must have spent a lot of time in Swarga. But whatever it is, after a long time, he got again human birth. That is what is indicated. He was merged in darkness, divide of end, in suffering. Since he worshipped through many sacrifices, it should be understood that he also enjoyed happiness in Swarga for many years. This is not mentioned in order to create a sense of renunciation in Prachina Barhi. Because of remembering a woman, he became a woman. Because story speaker is Narada Muni. The purpose is to detach him from this material entanglement. So even though Puranjana might have gone to Swarga, why would Narada Muni will speak about he's going to Swarga? Then Prachanabari will say, oh, like that? Because I have done so many yajnas, I will go to Swarga also. I think good. Let me go to Swarga. Like that he may decide. No, the purpose is not that. Purpose is to enlighten him and bring renunciation and bhakti in his heart. So that's why Narada Muni cut the in-between story. Just the hellish punishments ke example दिखाया था बस. On his way only, the animals which are killed by him, they tortured him like anything. That in a way, kind of hellish punishment is immediately given. That is mentioned. The spiritual perspective of the story is this. It was said that because one faints from the extreme pain at the time of death, the loss of dharmic intelligence is temporary. So at the time of death, one does not remember anything in one sense. So one forgets. So dharmika and dharmic activities and all. After enjoying in Swarga with the exhaustion of pious deeds, he regains his dharmic intelligence and is born in the house of a person following dharma. So at the time of death, one forgets dharmic intelligence, but as a result of one's own karma, one goes through here and there everywhere. Finally, when he is supposed to take birth as a human being once again, the dharmic intelligence once again comes to this person. So like that it is indicated. So that means whatever dharmic intelligence, they basically the understanding of what to do, how to do, etc. as a human being, it will not follow. That understanding will not follow because when we enter into different species, the intelligence correspond to that species will only accompany us, not the intelligence corresponding to human behavior. Again, when we take birth as a human, the human intelligence will again accompany us. So like that we can understand. After enjoying in Swarga with the exertion of pious deeds, he regains his dharmic intelligence and is born in the house of a person following dharma. That is the intention of this verse. So little technical details, which we might not have heard such kind of things in the past. But one simple thing. As a human being, we have a dharmic perspective towards dharma. As a different species, accordingly they will have that. So this human perspective towards dharma will be there only when we are a human being. So right now he is leaving this human body, that intelligence stayed away. When again he will take birth again, that intelligence will come back. Like that we have to understand. However, attaining a body of a man or woman was not mentioned. So the shloka, it says that he was born in the house of a great king of Vidarbha as the best of women. But in between, so before he was born as the princess in the king of Vidarbha's palace, what was the situation? Nothing was clearly mentioned. Because later it is mentioned that the next chapter, 29th chapter, it is mentioned that this foolish jiva is sometimes a man, sometimes he is woman, sometimes he is eunuch. Sometimes he is a devata, sometimes a human, sometimes animal. His birth takes place according to the gunas and his action, karmas. So one's future birth is all based on our guna karma. So like that is indicated. So there are a couple of verses talking about the same concept. This is from third canto 30th chapter, where Lord Kapila is speaking. Eager to maintain his family by sinful actions alone, the person goes to the final destruction of Andatamishra, a region of hell. After successfully going through many births below the human form and becoming purified, he returns to this earth as a human being. So after death, as a result of one's sinful activities, one will goes to Naraka. One has to go through the punishment. Then one takes birth in variety of species. After all such things are over, then one takes birth as a human being. Even if somebody performs pious activities, one will go to Swarga also in between. Finally, one will again become human being. कर्मणादैव नेत्रेण जन्तुर्देहोपपत्तये श्रिया प्रविष्ट उदरं पुंशरेताकनाश्रया. The jiva about to receive a human body by the law of karma under the supervision of the Lord, taking shelter of a particle of semen from a man, enter the womb of a woman. So this is how it is. So following the law of karma, one enters into the womb of a mother and then gets a human birth. That is the general flow of transmigration after death. So this is how one goes to different places and finally comes to again human birth. Of course, sometimes some people may take birth as a human immediately. We see some past life memories. Some people talk about here and there. It happens immediately, not so long, maybe 30, 40 years later. Immediately the other person is born and he remembers previous life and all. Sometimes immediately also. For some, there could be some exception, but others, they have to go through their karmic cycle. So like that. उपमेये वीर्यपणाम्
उपमे ये मे वीर्यपनां
वैदर्भीं मलयध्वजा
वैदर्भिं मलयध्वजा
युधि निर्जित्य राजन्यान्
युधि निर्जित्य राजन्यान्
भाण्ड्या परपुरञ्जयः.
पाण्ड्या परपुरञ्जयः. It was fixed that Vaidharbhi, daughter of King Vidarbha, was to be married to a very powerful man, Malayadvaja, an inhabitant of the Pandu country. After conquering other princes, he married the daughter of King Vidarbha.
So, in the previous verse, there was one point mentioned. The dharmic intelligence, which was Puranjani in our previous story, which he left behind at the time of death. So afterwards, he went to Naraka, then he went to Swarga, then if we take birth as a different species, finally he was taking birth as a human being. Again, the human intelligence came and joined with him. But now, since she was taken birth in a dharmic family, in the family of Vaidharbha kings, and she grew up and she's supposed to be married. So she got married to Malayadvaja. Intelligent Malayadvaja, the conqueror of the enemy cities, after defeating other kings in battle, married the daughter of the king of Vidarbha, as prize for his chivalry. Because Malayadvaja is also not ordinary person. He conquered all the neighboring countries and established dharma everywhere. And because he was so chivalrous, so great warrior, the king of Vidarbha thought, my daughter should be married to him. So they got them married. So like that. Here, from now onwards, so it is like very interesting metaphorical story. So in this story, we'll see how a disciple and guru have their relationship. The relationship between guru and disciple is being nicely presented in this section. And though externally it is a metaphorical story, but very nicely presented to understand how a guru and disciple should be related to each other. Just like a wife and husband are related to each other in a marriage ties. So like that. As long as the jiva does not have bhakti, he cannot get deliverance from samsara. Bhakti is spontaneous. It arises from association with devotees by spontaneous mercy of devotees. So, Puranjana, who was a Jivatma, who was leading a dharmic lifestyle and also performed some sinful activities. As a result of that, he was gone to Naraka. He has taken birth in lower species. And since he had performed so many pious activities, he went to Swarga also. But by the way, knowingly or unknowingly, he must have served some Vaishnavas in his previous life because we saw when he went for hunting, when he came back, his wife went into Managruha where she was feeling neglected, something like that. While talking to her, while appeasing to her, he said that, please tell me if somebody misbehaved with you, I can punish them immediately, except Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Other than those two, I can punish anybody and everybody. So he knew that the Kshatriyas do not have any controllership over Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. He had that respect towards Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. And since he was also known for performing yajnas here and there, he might have given some charities, he might have rendered some service to Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So that created Ajna Sukriti. So now, by that Ajna Sukriti, he is getting married to Malayadvaja in this life, or by such Ajna Sukriti, a Jivatma comes in contact with a great devotee. Here, Maladvaja represents a devotee, and the Vaidharbhi, the daughter of Vidarbha king, represents conditioned soul. So, by good fortune on its own accord, because of some Ajna Sukriti, the Jivatma comes in contact with a devotee, and this takes place spontaneously. So, just like she born and she grew up and marriage happened instantly. It is not that they were planning for the marriage for so many years and all. Just the king arranged Swayamvar and bride was chosen and marriage over. So suddenly it happened. That is shown in Puranjana's next life as Vaidharbhi, where he attained association with a devotee through marriage. Malayadvaja means best. So what is the meaning? Now, every word has a wonderful meaning from now on. Malayadvaja means best among the devotees, who are equal to Malaya mountain range, since they are worthy of the same worship. So Malaya, just like Supreme Lord is worshipped and Malaya forest is also worshipped because it endows with all the Chandan wood. Malaya mountain is endowed with all Chandan wood. It is so respected. So Malayadvaj means, so devotees in general are respected, and Malayadvaja is like the best among all the devotee community. So who is the best among all the devotee community? The spiritual master, the guru, the acharya. So in that way. Upayeme, married, can mean accepting to be a student or a disciple. So technically outside marriage, in the spiritual circles, initiation, both are same because both purpose is same. Virya panam, the price for valor, can also mean no one else could be accepted as teacher because he had great mercy as his power. Why all the disciples have chosen this person only as one's teacher? Because of his compassion. He has the great power in the form of his compassion, in the form of his mercy. That's why everyone want to become his student. So like that. So this is, so here the disciple spiritual master's relationship is compared to marriage in this story. Is a good comparison or not? I'll give you some references from sixth canto. Of course, later on we will discuss sixth canto when we come there. But still, for information's sake, I have just put couple of verses which are given in the sixth canto, which talks about the marriage. What is the marriage? What is the Vedic understanding of marriage? These verses are spoken by Kashyap Prajapati, Kashyap Rishi. He only speaks these verses. So he says, Patiri eva hi nari nam daivatam paramam smrutam Manasa sarvabhutanam Vasudeva Shriyapatihi. For a wife, for a nari, husband is Paramadaivata. What kind of Paramadaivata? Vasudeva Shriyaspati. Just like for Mother Lakshmi, how is Vasudeva? Like that for every wife, the husband is like that. For every wife, the husband is Lord Vasudeva. Manasa Sarvabhutaram. They should accept like this within their minds. Sayeva Devatalingair Nama Rupa Vikalpitai Ijjate Bhagavan Pumbi Sribhischa Patirupadruk. Just like all the devatas worship Lord Vishnu, or no otherwise, just like all of us worship the Supreme Lord by worshipping the devatas in the yajna. Within a yajna, we actually worship Lord Vishnu by worshipping the devatas. We say that Idam Indraya Swaha, Idam Nama, Idam Varunaya Swaha, Idam Nama. Though we are chanting the names of different devatas, but ultimately, the understanding is that this is for Indra, who is considered to be the hands of Lord Vishnu. This is for Agni, who is considered to be the mouth of Lord Vishnu. This is for Surya, who is considered to be the eye of Lord Vishnu. So, like that. Same way, a wife serves husband, treating the husband as Lord Vishnu's representative. A husband is the supreme object of worship for a woman. Vasudeva, the husband of the goddess of fortune and presiding deity of Chitta within all beings, is worshipped through the various names and forms representing different devatas by fruitive workers who perform yajna. Similarly, a husband, the representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by a woman. Pati Rupadrak. So, Kashyapa Prajapati says that the woman sees the husband as representative of Lord Vishnu. The Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of the husband. Like that, the woman sees. So, next, the follow up verse, he further says, Tasmat Pativrata Narya Shreya Kamasu Madhyame Yajante Ananya Bhavena Patim Atmanam Ishwaram. Here he says, O beautiful wife, a wife devoted to her husband, desiring the highest benefit. What is the highest benefit? Liberation or going back to Godhead. Shreya Kama, Paramashreya, ultimate benefit. So, such a wife who is desiring the highest benefit, devoted to her husband, should very devoutly worship Yajante Ananya Bhavena, her husband, as the representative of the Supreme Lord, Lord Vasudeva. Patim Atmanam Ishwaram. So, this is the understanding of marriage in Vedic circles. So, long back, many years back, before our sister's marriage was completed, I was trying to understand what is the concept of marriage, what are the meaning of the various mantras that they chant during the marriage and all. I came across one nice article from Sri Vaishnavacharyas. They explained very nicely the concept of whole marriage. So there are some things like Saptapadi, Panigrahanam, and Kanyadanam, etc., etc. So there they have mentioned one point very nicely. So Kanyadanam is what the term used for marriage. So for a parents, for a father or mother, the dearmost object is their daughter. Even though they may be having so many well-behaved sons, but for the parents, the dearmost object is always their daughter. That's why when they wanted to offer something to Supreme Lord, they will offer the dearmost object in their entire life. That is their daughter. So, so their daughter is so priceless, so they cannot give in charity to anybody. The only worthy person who can accept the charity, as we study in the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, that charity cannot be given to anyone and everyone. The receiver should have the patrata should be there. The only person who is qualified to accept the priceless gift, the most cherished object of affection for a parent is their daughter, he is only Lord Vishnu. Other than Lord Vishnu, no one is qualified to accept this gift of Kanyadan. But however, practically it is not possible for every parent that they can offer their dearmost daughter in Kanyadan to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Now, what is practical? So, if not Lord Vishnu, at least Lord Vishnu's representative, who is representing Lord Vishnu. So that's why in most of the marriage mantras during the time of marriage, so before Panigrahanam, so the parents of the bride, even though they are very much elder in their age, they receive the bridegroom as if Lord Vishnu personally came, and they may make him sit on the high asan, and they wash his feet, put that water on their heads and also on the heads of all their family members, because for them the bridegroom is like the Vishnu. Though he is Vishnu's representative, but technically they are treating him like Vishnu. So that's why when Vishnu comes, how you treat, like that they are treating and respecting. And then after receiving him, after washing his feet, after offering Harati, and they offer the best thing they have, they possess in their home as a gift to Lord Vishnu. That is Kanyadan. So this is the concept of marriage. So just like the parents are treating him as Vishnu or Vishnu's representative, like that the Kanya also supposed to treat him for the entire life as Kanya, as Vishnu or Vishnu representative. The understanding is this is from the girls and the girl's parents' point of view. For the boy point of view, he should also have that qualification to receive that honor, that respect. Because since they are respecting him as Vishnu or Vishnu representative, this person also should be acting like a Vishnu representative, should behave like a Vishnu representative for the entire life and take the responsibility of taking care of the gift. Now, why they are offering their daughter in Kanyadan to Vishnu alone? Why not only why Vishnu only is qualified to receive this gift? Why not somebody else? The concept of marriage is directly associated with going back home, back to Godhead, liberation. Mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnureva samshayam. There is only one person who can award liberation, that is Lord Vishnu. Other than him, no one else can award liberation. So if my daughter is assured of liberation, only if I offer her to Lord Vishnu. But since I cannot offer, everyone cannot do that, at least offer to Lord Vishnu representative. Lord Vishnu's representative is non-different from Lord Vishnu. He will make sure the attainment of liberation in this very lifetime. That is, the assurance should be given by the bridegroom, and with that acceptance, the parents of the bride will offer their dear most cherished daughter in marriage to bridegroom. So this is the description given in the Sri Vaishnava marriage description. So this is the concept behind marriage. Same thing we see in the initiation also. The disciple surrenders at the lotus feet of Guru, understanding and accepting that yes, he is the bona fide representative of Lord Vishnu. He has that authority, that ability to deliver away from this bondage, like that. And the person who is acting as Guru should have that ability also. Otherwise, he cannot become the Guru just like that. In that marriage mantras, the mantras actually read all these things. While leading a household order, the husband, the wife, and helps husband, husband helps wife accomplishing dharmartha kama. In their fag end of their life, both assist each other will in attaining moksha, liberation, going back home, back to Godhead. That is the completion of marriage ceremony. Same thing here. So externally speaking, because of her piety, Vaidharbhi got married to Malayadvaja, and from Jivatma point of view, by some Sukruti, Ajna Sukruti, he came in contact with a bona fide spiritual master. So that is Malayadvaja. So there is one verse which comes in the 11th canto in Uddhav Gita. Lord Krishna speaks, one who is situated in his prescribed duty, free from sinful activities, and cleansed of material contamination, in this very life, obtains transcendental knowledge, or by fortune, devotional service unto me. That means, just like Puranjana led maximum part of his life in a dharmic way of lifestyle in the previous life, so now he got the good opportunity of getting birth in a dharmic family and getting married to a dharmic king. For a Jivatma, if we perform dharmic activities throughout our life, by good fortune we come in touch with the devotees and we get bhakti. So that is understanding. There is one more verse from the 10th canto, chapter 51. It is said here, when the material life of a wandering soul has ceased, O Achyuta, he may attain the association of your devotees. And when he associates with them, there awakens in him devotion unto you, who are the goal of the devotees and the Lord of all causes and their effects. So basically, when we live dharmic lifestyle for many lifetimes, by good fortune, one day we come in touch with your devotees. By continuing to be in the association of your devotees, one day one will come to your abode, one will come in your association. This is the gradual progression. The verse shows that bhakti arises in the jiva in some birth from sudden association with the devotee. He had what kind of devotee? Now the devotee's glories are mentioned, the acharya's glories are mentioned. He had defeated other kings. This means that he had uprooted all sins, all offenses, time, the effect of time and the effect of karma. So the guru should be uprooted all sins, all offenses. He is beyond the influence of time and karma. Pandya means he was from Pandya province, or he who could discriminate between matter and spirit. So Pandya Prince, Panda King, Malayadvaja is from the Pandya province. That means he has proper discrimination. The Guru is supposed to be knowing what is what. Parapuranjaya means he who conquered the cities of enemies, or he who cut the doubts arising from other philosophies. The Acharya is strictly, staunchly established in his own philosophy. He is not bewildered by other philosophies. He would defeat and debate and defeat other philosophies. So like a warrior defeats other kings. So this is the description of the Guru. The good fortune of the disciple was already described. Now Guru's qualifications are being described here. Hare Krishna, you are able to follow? Any questions till now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Just one question that what he has performed sacrifices.
Hmm.
This not Puranjana.
Both
Puranjana.
Puranjana also performed and Parchana Bari also performed sacrifices. Both performed.
Yes, but he has performed the sacrifices. Matlab, he has not killed those animals. So why the animals are coming to hunt him? I mean, bite him after.
No, see, he went for hunting. Hunting में किया तो during hunting he might have killed so many animals.
Yes, yes.
And in sacrifice also, like Prachina
Hmm.
Bari was performing so many sacrifices though they are not required. So like that Puranjana also might have performed so many sacrifices though they may not be so much may not be required. In that he might have killed some animals unnecessarily. See, doing
But in
sacrifice is very
sacrifices,
important.
the animals get elevated, na Prabhuji?
See, see, it is not that you keep doing sacrifice every day. Yes, sacrifice need to be
Mm-hmm.
performed. You can do once in a year, something like that, but not every day, every month, every week. If you do
Mm-hmm.
over, it does not
Mm-hmm.
consider as a this thing. So like that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Other devotees, anyone has any question? You are following what we are trying to discuss here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Uh, no, I'm asking other devotees also. तस्यां स जनयां चक्र
तस्यां च जनयां चक्र
आत्मजामसि सेक्षणाम्
आत्मजाम् असि ते क्षणाम्
यवीयसा सप्तसुतान्
यवीयसः सप्तसुतान्
सप्तद्रविडभूभृथा
सप्तद्रविडभूभृतः. King Malayadvaja fathered one daughter who had very black eyes. He also had 7 sons who later became rulers of that tract of land known as Dravida. Thus there were 7 kings in that land.
Hmm. So marriage happened. So Puranjana appeared as a girl, as a Vaidharbhi in the kingdom of Vaidarbha, and Vaidarbha king married her to Malayadvaja, and eventually in due course of time they gave birth to one daughter and 7 sons. So that is what is mentioned. Daughter name is Astakshana, and the 7 sons became the 7 kings of Dravida province. He is from Pandya kingdom. Pandya means the entire south kingdom is called as Pandya. So in that way, in that there are 7 separate kingdoms, and the 7 brothers became the 7 independent rulers. That is the understanding storyline. But what is that? The metaphorical meaning? Asitekshana was the daughter's name. It can also mean she who received the glance of Lord Krishna. Asita Ikshana. Asita means Krishna. Ikshana means those eyes only want to see Krishna, nothing else. Such kind of daughter he's got. Does it mean one who has a taste for serving Lord Krishna? For a Jivatma, after having taken shelter of spiritual master, following the rules and regulations prescribed by the spiritual master in due course of time, the ruchi manifests to perform bhakti, only to see Krishna. That means only to serve Krishna. The dedicated desire to serve Krishna manifests. That is represented by daughter. So the city Varanasi, Varanasi, a place located next to two rivers, Varana and Asita. So today we have Varanasi, where Lord Shiva's temple is there, etc. People go there. So, but in any way, it is on the bank of Varana and Asita. Two rivers are there. The next to two rivers, the city is located. So, Varanavata is another city which was next to Varana river. In the Mahabharata, this Varanavata comes. It was next to Varana river. So, in that two rivers, Varana and Asita. So, Asita is also the word used here, Asita. So, Asita is in relation to Krishna, and Asita means it is on the bank of Yamuna. So Varanasi is like it is the city on the bank of both the rivers Varana and Asta. This Varanasi comes after Prayag. So it is Prayag. We have Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati mixing together. In Varanasi, we have Ganga and Yamuna combined together is going. So Varanasi is the city on the bank of Ganga and Yamuna. Varana is Ganga, Asita is Yamuna. So Yamuna corresponds to Lord Krishna. So when you say Asita, it is indicating Krishna. So Varnavat is a city on the bank of Ganga in the Mahabharata. By the mercy of Guru, the Jiva develops a taste for serving Lord Krishna. So after marrying Malayadvaja, Vaidharbhi gave birth to a daughter. Same way, after taking after surrendering to Guru, the disciple's heart manifests with desire to serve Krishna. The 7 sons were born later. So, with a desire to serve Krishna, eventually, so how do we serve Krishna? The different means of serving Lord Krishna are explained here. The 7 sons are the different means of serving Lord Krishna. They represent Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. So, out of the Navavida Bhakti, the 7 things are mentioned. Why other two are not mentioned? Because Sakyam, Atmanivedanam are difficult in the beginning and will appear spontaneously later. That's why they are not mentioned. The sons were the kings of the southern province. So that means when we come in touch with Guru by the instructions following the Guru, we start performing these 7 types of bhakti. Shravanam, everyday it will happen. Kirtanam, everyday morning japa we do. Remembering, yes, as and when time permits, keep doing. Serving the lotus feet, that means in the temple doing some services. Deity worship, yes, those who are in the temple directly or indirectly they do deity worship. So bowing down, we offer obeisances and offer prayers multiple times in a day. Servitude, we also perform so many services in the temple in different ways, different means. So here one sense, Padasevanam and this Dastyam, both are considered to be serving in the temple premises in different ways. So both can be taken in that way. So this is what we do in our day-to-day life whenever we come to temple. The southern provinces are renowned for prominence of bhakti, hearing and chanting. The 7 provinces ruled like kings, having subdued karma, jnana and other processes. So why Pandya kingdom and Dravana kingdom are mentioned? Because in one sense, the southern kingdom is said to be the place for devotees and the place of so many holy places, so many rivers. So in that way, it is considered said like that.
అవునొస్తే
एकैकस्याभवत्तेषां
एकैकस्याभवत्तेषां
राजन् अर्बुदमर्बुदम्
राजन् अर्बुदम्
भोक्ष्यते यद्वंशधरेर्
भोक्ष्यते यद्वंशधरेर्
महीमन्वन्तरं परम्.
महीमन्वन्तरं परम्. My dear King Prashina Brihisat, the sons of Malayadvaja gave birth to so many thousands and thousands of sons. And all of these have been protecting the entire world up to the end of one Manu's lifespan and even afterward.
O king, each of them had tens and millions of children, the descendants of whom ruled the earth during the Manu's period and after. So basically, the 7 sons continued their legacy till the end of the Manvantara. That is understanding. The 7 sons had many sons and grandsons. This also means that the processes like Shravanam and Kirtanam each subdivided into multiple parts like Shravanam, Nama Shravanam, Leela Shravanam, Guna Shravanam, Rupa Shravanam. So like that. Nama, Leela, Guna, Rupa. There is Nama Kirtan, Guna Kirtan, Leela Kirtan, and Rupa Kirtan. Like that, Nama Shravan, Rupa Shravan, Guna Shravan, and Leela Shravan. There are so many different angas. Or they can be divided according to the worship of different avatars. We hear about Krishna, we hear about Rama, we hear about Narsimha, we hear about Vamana, Kurma, Masya, like that. Different hearings. Or they can be divided according to the different rasas. We hear about the devotees in the Dasya rasa, Sakya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, Madhurya rasa, and Shanta rasa. So like that. Thus, there are innumerable subdivisions of each process. One hearing only has so many divisions, then Kirtanam also has so many divisions, Smaranam also has so many divisions, Archanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, every process has so many divisions. Like that, it is an unending process. Bhakti yogo bahuvido, marger bhavini bhavyate, swabhava guna margena, pumsham bhavo vidhiyate. Lord Kapila is telling to Mother Devahuti. Bhakti appears in many forms by a particular actions in a person according to one's intentions. The intentions are classed by the actions of the gunas arising from one's natures. According to one's inclination, one's nature, one practices bhakti in multiple ways. So in that way, there is variety. The descendants are different sampradayas. So the descendants can also be seen as different sampradayas. Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, like that. They distribute like that lineages. So, like one person, if he has 3, 4 sons, So one son will go this side east, one side will settle in the west, one side will settle in the south, and their lineage will continue further. So like that, the different sampradayas. They ruled the whole earth. This means that the earth was protected from ignorance and materialistic karma yoga. That means bhakti is ruling the entire earth because of all these multiple sampradayas. So that is the understanding. That means now finally the bhakti is exploding. So then what? So Malayadvaja married, hmm, gave birth to one daughter and seven sons, and they eventually married, gave birth to children, like they're expanding. But one day he will take to Vanaprastha and go to forest and perform austerities. That will be mentioned in the later part. Agastya prag druhitram
Agastya pragruhitaram
upayeme dhrutavratam
upaye me drita vratam
yasyam dudachyuto jata
yasyam dridachyuto jata
idmavahatmajo munihi.
igmavahatmajo munihi. The great sage named Agastya married the firstborn daughter of Malayadvaja, the avowed devotee of Lord Krishna. From her one son was born whose name was Dhritayuta, and from him another son was born whose name was Idmavaha.
So the previous verse talked about the sons and their lineages, and this verse talks about daughter. The sage Agastya married the firstborn daughter of Malayadvaja, Ashitekshana, who had firm vows, in whom one son named Drudachyuta was born. Drudachyuta had Idmajiva as his son. So three generations are mentioned. So what is the understanding? Agastya married the first daughter. Agastya means one who brings together all the senses which cannot act on their own. Agastya means he who engages all the senses in bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Otherwise, individually they want to go here and there. One sense will go here, one sense will go there. That's why they want to drag us here and there. But he who brings all of them together, who brings all the senses together and engage them in service of the Supreme Lord, the mind. Because mind is the super boss of all the senses. This means the mind, Agastya, the master of the senses. So, which accepted a taste for Lord Krishna, the first daughter. So, when the mind develops the taste to serve the Lord, the mind engages Jnanijas and Karmas in the service of the Supreme Lord. Same way, Agastya married Astakshana. Astakshana means the Ruchi to serve the Lord and is engaging all the senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. So, that engaging the senses of the Supreme Lord came in the form of Druda Achyuta. There is strong desire to serve Lord Achyuta. Drudatvam in serving Lord Achyuta. That taste produced firm vows of mercy, tolerance, and other good qualities. Drudavratam. This means that from taste, from Ruchi, the taste means the wife through Achitakshana, by great mercy, the mind of the Jiva then developed asakti for serving the Lord. Drudachyuta means asakti. So one is determined to serve the Lord. After Ruchi, there is asakti. Ado Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrutti, Nishta, then there is Ruchi. Ruchi ke baad asakti. So now it is asakti. So in that way. This means that from Ruchi, by great mercy, the mind of the Jiva can develop asakti for serving Lord Krishna. That asakti was devoid of attachment to Satyaloka and other places. Druda means attachment, Chuta means divide of. Divide of any attachment to go to Satyaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Svargaloka, etc. But there is only one asakti of serving Lord Krishna. This means it had distaste for enjoyments of this world and higher worlds, or they developed a distaste for other practices like jnana, karma, for attaining liberation or going to Swarga. That means the mind was completely devoid of desire for other practices or other goals. because of the exclusive taste for serving Lord Krishna, Agastya's son, that is Drudachyuta. There is only determination to serve Lord Achyuta, nothing else. The determination is called Asakti. How did all this arise? How come this strong desire came? Previously, Puranjana had no desire only. But abhi to itna. He had a son, Idmavaha, one who carries firewood for sacrifice. Idmavaha means he who carries the firewood for sacrifice. This is famous in the Shruti passage. Tad Vijnanartham Sagurum Evabi Gache Samit Pani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. With fuel in hand, one should approach a guru, learned in the Vedas and mixed and fixed in the Lord for knowledge of the Lord. Tad Vijnanartham. If you want to understand the knowledge about Supreme Lord, approach a guru, take diksha from him, surrender to him. How that official surrender will take place? By performing yajna. For performing yajna, one needs samida. So carry the samida wood along with you. Approach a guru and ask him, give me initiation. The guru may say, come tomorrow. His disciple should say, no, right now. The guru may say, I don't have any facilities to properly perform the initiation ceremony. He said, I got all the ingredients. I got samida, I got everything. So do it immediately. So disciple should be so eager. So that is the indicative. It means surrender to Guru. So Idmavaha means complete surrender to Guru. So by the time Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti means there is complete surrender to Guru. Guru is serving the Lord and disciple will simply follow in the service of the Supreme Lord. It's like that. According to the storyline, Agastya had a son named Drudachyuta, who had a son named Idmajiva. This is a description of the descendants of Malayadvaja's daughters. So some descendants are described and daughter descendants also described. So from the daughter side, first Ruchi came. From Ruchi came Asakti, and from Asakti, Rati. Rati means completely dedicated to serving the Lord. So that all came. Just like one surrenders to Guru, one is dedicated to serve the Supreme Lord. That is called Rati. So in that way. So in this way, their household life is done. Now giving the responsibility to next generation, they will go to forest to perform Vanaprastha duties. So Malayadvaja and his wife Vaidharbhi both go to forest to perform Vanaprastha duties. That is being indicated in the next section. Any questions till now, Hare Krishna? विभज्यातनयेभ्यः कस्मान्
विभज्य तनयाभ्ये तनयेभ्यः कस्मान्
राजर्षिर्मलयध्वज
राजर्षिर्मलयध्वजा
आरिरादयिषु कृष्णम्
आरीरादयिषु कृष्णम्
सा जगामाकुलाचलम्.
सा जगमाकुलाचलम्. After this, the great saintly king Malayadvaja divided his entire kingdom among his sons. Then, in order to worship Lord Krishna with full attention, he went to a solitary place known as Kulachala.
The saintly king Malayadvaja, desiring to worship Lord Krishna. So we said, na? So first, he accepted Ashitakshana through her Drudachyuta through Drudachyuta Idmavaha. Idmavaha indicates that exclusive service to Lord Krishna. Just like a disciple surrenders to Guru, similarly the devotee surrenders to Lord Krishna completely. I want to serve you, nothing else. Till now I have done all my responsibilities, everything is done. Now exclusive service of yours. That is indicated by going to Vanaprastha duties. So that is the understanding. So the saintly king Malayadvaja, desiring to worship Lord Krishna after dividing the earth among his sons, departed to Kulachala. Dividing the earth means after dividing up the types of bhakti, Kulachalam means a place for concentration, a place famous for giving bhakti, or Venkata Hill. So, because the discussion is all about Dravida Desha, so in Dravida Desha, the Venkatachala is considered to be the famous place where isolation is there from the external world, where one can practice bhakti very exclusively. So, this is the discussion is from the 5000 years old back story. Na? This is Andal, Nadamun is talking that time. So, since that time, Lord Venkateshwara is there on the Venkata Hill, and it is like isolated place, not disturbed by city dwellers. So one can practice bhakti in isolation. So in that way. So it refers to the Venkata Hill, the modern day Tirumala Hills. Itva Gruhan Sutan Bogan. Hare Krishna,
Hitva
somebody.
Gruhan Sutan Bhogan
Vaidharbhi Madirekshana.
Vaidharbhi Madirekshana
Anvadhavata Pandesham.
Anvadhavata Pandesham
Josmeva Rajanikaram.
Josneva Rajanikaram. As the moonshine follows the moon at night, immediately after King Malayadvaja departed for Kulachala, his devoted wife, whose eyes were very enchanting, followed him, giving up all homely happiness despite family and children.
So giving up the house, sons, and enjoyments, the daughters, the daughter of King Vidarbha, with attractive eyes, Madhira Ikshana, followed her husband, just as moonlight follows the moon. Because Malayadvaja wanted to enter into Vanaprastha order, he was going. So following after him, his wife, Ashitekshana, who is having Madhira Ikshana, also followed. Just as the wife serves the husband by rejecting enjoyment, the disciple engages in service to Guru by hearing and chanting, giving no regard even to solitary places, which could give rise to the bliss of prema, in order to attain with ease the perfection of all goals by serving Guru. This is the teaching in this verse. That means the disciple can stay in some place and practice Nirjan Bhajan and be happy, but still the disciple chooses to serve Guru till the last breath, being with the Guru. So that is being indicated here. So the wife going to forest along with the husband is like she would have stayed back in the palace. That is allowed in the Shastra. Not necessary that every wife has to follow the husband to Vanaprastha. She can stay back with the children, with the sons. So, but in spite of that, she's going means that is indicative of some disciples. Even though they may go to different places, they may preach, expand the moment everything is. But in the old age of in the Guru's old age, they should be with Guru and serve the Guru in person. That is understanding. Mad means exciting. Ira means message or the Vedas. Her glance, Madhira, was always in the Veda, which gave joy, since the Vedas say that service to Guru is the highest. What is the meaning of Madhirekshana? Madhirekshana means following the essence of the Vedas. The essence of the Vedas is to serve the Guru. So in that way. Jiva Goswami says that Madhira means the Lord who gives joy. She had a glance always in the form of the Lord who gives joy. The meaning, according to the story, is that she had very youthful glances in her eyes. So basically, Ashitekshana or Madhirekshana, in the sense, the understanding is she only want to see the Lord, nothing else. She is always eager to serve the Lord. So nothing else. That is the understanding. Because she want to serve the Lord, her husband is Lord's representative. So she want to serve her husband, whom she is treating as the representative of the Supreme Lord. So for that reason, she followed her husband and she went all the way up to the forest to lead very strict, austere lifestyle along with her husband. So now in the next section, first few verses talks about the austerities performed by our Malayadvaja and eventually leaving the body at one point of time, having realized the personality of God, he leaves his body and goes back to Godhead. And understanding that her husband died, she performs final rites and she was about to enter into the fire to commit sati. Then the Paramatma, our constant companion, comes in the form of a Brahmana and reveals her some important knowledge. Because this Vaidharbhi, this Asekshana, is our Puranjana. He is our Kathanayak. Our entire story is all about Puranjana, the Kathanayak. Now he has become Vaidharbhi and he has been serving her husband nicely. Husband just died and she is also about to die. But something very interesting is required, that she will get that understanding from the Paramatma himself. That is the rest of the chapter. That's how the flow is there. So now Malayadvaja gives up his body and how Vaidarbhi will get enlightened by the Paramatma, who comes in the form of Guru. The Chaitya Guru comes in the form of a Guru. Of course, she has been serving her husband, great devotee. Tatra Chandravasa Nama
Tatra Chandravasa Nama
Tamraparni Vatodaka
Amraparni Vatolaka
Tatpunya Shalilair Nityam
Tatpunyasalilairnityam
Ubayatratmano Mrujan
Ubayatratmano Mrijan
Kandastibhir
Kandastibirmulafalai
Pushpaparnai
Pushpaparanaistrunolakai Trunodkai
Vratamana
Ratamana Shanairgatra
Karshanam Tapastitaha.
Harshanam Tapa Astitaha. In the province of Kulachala, there were rivers named Chandravasha, Tambrabarani, and Vatodaka. King Malayadvaja used to go to these pious rivers regularly and take his bath there. Thus, he purified himself externally and internally. He took his bath and ate bulbs, seeds, leaves, flowers, roots, fruits, and grasses, and drank water. Severe austerities. Eventually, he became very skinny.
So like that. So previously it was said Kulachala is referring to Venkatachala. Similarly, now is referring to some other place. At Kulachala, the king bathed daily, internally and externally, in Chandravasa, Tambravarni, Vatodaka rivers. In that Kulachala province, there are three rivers: Chandravasa river, Tamraparni river, and Vatodaka river. So in these rivers, he would take bath morning, afternoon, evening, every day 3 times, undergoing strict austerities, subsisting on roots, seeds, bulbs, fruits, flowers, leaves, grass, and water. His body eventually became thin. Because Vanaprastha means they should not cook, they should not beg, they should only subsist on what is available in the forest on its own. Even they should not pluck fruits from the plants. The fruits fell down from the tree, they should take. That's how the strict rules are there. So he was living on them. So subsisting on roots, seeds, bulbs, fruits, flowers, leaves, grass, and water. So after life, he and his wife, both of them are leading this kind of life. Internally and externally, he washed away impurities. As in the case of King Prithu, his intense austerity arose from his great eagerness for the Lord. Prithu Maharaj also performed severe austerities like this. Same way, he is also performing severe austerities so that he want to go back, come back to Godhead as early as possible. That was the intention. So, in relation to Prithu Maharaj, there is a passage from 23rd chapter, text number 2 to 7. What kind of austerities he performed? There in the forest, King Prithu underwent severe austerities according to the Vanaprastha rules, with unbroken vows, using the same effort with which he previously achieved victory over the earth. He ate only roots like radish and fruits, and sometimes ate only dry leaves. He began drinking only water without food for several months at a time. Finally, he only consumed air. In the summer, he placed fires around himself in the four directions, and above head, the sun is there. During the monsoon, he tolerated the torrents of rain. He was outside, he was not inside the gufa. He was in the open atmosphere. The rain will be falling upon him. During winter, he stood up to his neck in cold water and slept on the bare earth. Being tolerant, controlling words and senses, controlling sexual impulse, and his life heirs, his only desire being to worship Lord Krishna, he performed the highest austerities. So this was the kind of lifestyle if Prithu Maharaj followed. A similar lifestyle here, Malayadvaja is also following. So Narada Muni is telling Prachna Bari, आपका पूर्वज देखो कैसे ऑस्टेरिटीज किया, आप तो इधर यज्ञ के ऊपर यज्ञ कर रहे हैं स्वर्ग जाने के लिए, क्या चल रहा है? सब indirectly is indicating to him, you should follow in the footsteps of Prithu. Enough is enough. Go to forest and perform vanaprastha austerities. So like that is telling indirectly. So that is the underlying story. So details are mentioned now. शीतोष्णवात वर्षाणि
Shitu,
Yeah,
very
please
good.
read Marth. Marth, please read.
शीतोष्णवात वर्षाणि
क्षुत्पिपासे प्रिया प्रिये
क्षुत्पिपासे प्रिया प्रिये
सुखदुःखे इति द्वन्द्वानि
सुखदुःखे इति द्वन्द्वानि
अजयत् समदर्शना.
अजयत् समदर्शनः. Through austerity, King Malayadvaj in body and mind gradually became equal to the dualities of cold and heat, happiness and distress, wind and rain, hunger and thirst, the pleasant and the unpleasant. In this way, he conquered all relativities.
Seeing all things equally, he conquered the dualities of cold, heat, wind, rain, hunger, thirst, favorable, unfavorable conditions, happiness, and distress. He has become free from the dualities. तपसा विद्यया पक्वा
Tapasa vidyaya pakva
कषायो नियमेर्यमै
kashayo niyamairiyamai
युयुजे ब्रह्मणि आत्मानं
yuyuje brahmani atmanam
विजिताक्षानिलाशया.
vijitaksha nilashayah. By worshipping, executing austerities and following the regulative principles, King Maladvaja conquered his senses, his life and his consciousness. He fixed everything on the central point of the Supreme Brahman.
Burning all impurities by such austerities, knowledge, niyama and yama, and conquering his senses, life force and mind, he fixed his mind on Lord Vasudeva. By such strict austerities, his mind is able to focus on Lord Vasudeva now. Brahmani means unto Vasudeva by the context of the following verses. Atmanam is mind. Aste sthanurivaikatra
Aste sthanurivaikatra
दिव्यं वर्षशतं स्थिरः
divyam varshashatam sthirah
वासुदेवे भगवते
vasudeve bhagavati
नान्यद्वेदोद्वहन् रतिम्.
nanyadvedo dvahanratim. In this way, he stayed immovable in one place for 100 years by the calculation of the demigods. After this time, he developed pure devotional attraction for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and remained fixed in that position.
Hmm. For 100 years as a Devatas, he remained fixed in one place, possessing Rati for the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. He was not aware of anything else. That means he was performing austerities for so long, only with exclusive desire to serve the Lord. By such remembrance in bhakti, continuous Rati for the Lord appeared. Because his desire was so strong that he performed so many austerities, which ordinarily people normally perform for long, long time, but he was performing very strictly. So that brought him to Rati, matlab Bhava. He had come to Bhava platform already. सा व्यापकतयात्मानं
Sa
सव्यापकतयात्मानं
व्यतिरिक्ततयात्मनि
व्यतिरिक्ततयात्मनि
विद्वान् स्वप्न इवामर्ष
विद्वान् स्वप्न इवामर्ष
साक्षिणं विररामः.
साक्षिणं विररामः. King Malayadvaja attained perfect knowledge by being able to distinguish the super soul from the individual soul. The individual soul is localized, whereas the super soul is all pervasive. He became perfect in knowledge that the material body is not the soul, but that the soul is the witness of the material body.
Hmm. Momentarily realizing the Lord externally in all things and internally as well, he then fainted. It was like seeing a dream whose witness is internal reflection. So basically, he was performing severe austerities like Prithu Maharaj for some time, which appeared as if such a long time, hundreds celestial years means such a long time. Matlab, a ordinary person, what one can do such a long time, he was doing in small time only. That means he was doing too much austerities with strong desire to go back to Godhead. So he already came to Bhava platform. From Bhava, he came to the fainting. So like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see Lord Krishna or Srimati Radharani or gopis doing some seva, serving Lord Krishna, etc. Looking at them, he would faint. So that is like once in a while having intimate darshan and the Lord disappears immediately and the person would faint. Same thing is happening. That means he entered into prema platform. From Bhava he entered into prema. The result of prema is he is fainting. By that rati, the Lord appeared everywhere. He realized the Lord as a form suddenly appearing in all directions because of the appearance of Rati, and he realized the Lord within himself separately. By the fire of eagerness for prema, he fainted. So Lord would appear and disappear. When Lord disappears, he would faint. Where is the Lord? Where is the Lord? I don't want to live even one more moment without the Lord, without seeing the Lord. That is prema. So prema is like bhava is like I only want to serve the Lord, no one else. Prema is like I want to see the Lord always. If I don't see the Lord, what is the use of living anymore? I will die. Like that they faint. The separation was not fully relieved by the sudden appearance of the Lord arising from intense separation. An example is given. It was just like knowing something in dream. The hunger of a person is not relieved by eating food in a dream. What is the proof for such appearances of the Lord? The function of the antakarana, called reflection in the witness, not a person within I. Because the pain of separation does not disappear by the functioning of antakarana with his internal vision, he also realized the Lord who had appeared in his vision directly with his eyes. So now somebody may question, so where is he getting darshan? Is he getting darshan in his dreams or is he getting darshan in the real in front of his eyes? Actually, both. If somebody says that I am getting darshan of the Lord in my dreams, others may not believe. But actually, he is getting that in the dreams also. He is also getting darshan of the Lord in front of his eyes also. But Lord would appear, show his darshan sometime and disappear. As soon as Lord disappears, this person will faint. Where is the Lord? Where is the Lord? I can't live. I don't want to live anymore without seeing the Lord. These are the symptoms of Krishna Prema. Don't want to live anymore. That is what displayed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gambhira. That I don't want to live without Lord Krishna anymore. That is Mahabhava platform. The same thing here. Malayadvaja is also doing it. That means he already came to Prema platform. He is able to see the Lord within his heart and also in front of his eyes. So when he sees the Lord, his body is erupting with the symptoms of Prema. But when he could not see the Lord, he is fainted unconsciously. So that is what is happening. Now, yes, the Lord is appearing and disappearing. When the Lord disappears, he becomes happy. When the Lord disappears, he is fainted. At one point of time, he fainted. He did not come back to normal consciousness. He left his body. That is mentioned in this one. That means he already attained Prema platform. He want to serve the Lord. That is not possible in this material world. You want to see the Lord continue. That is not possible in the material world. That is only possible in the spiritual world. Seeing the Lord and serving the Lord for the rest of eternity, only possible in the spiritual world. So one need to go back home back to Godhead. That is what happened to him. Sakshat Bhagavatokhtena
साक्षात् भगवतोत्क्रेत्ना
Guruna Harina Nrupa
गुरुणा हरिणा नृपा
Vishuddha Jnana Deepena
शुद्धज्ञानदीपेन
Spurata Vishwatomukam
स्फुरता विश्वतो मुखम्
Pare Brahmani Chatmanam
हरे ब्रह्मणि चात्मानं
Param Brahma Datatmani
परं ब्रह्मा ततात्मनि
Vikshmano Vihayeksham
वीक्षमाणो विहायेक्षाम्
Asmad Upararamaha.
अस्मात् उपररामः. In this way, King Malayadvaja attained perfect knowledge. State he was directly instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By means of such enlightening transcendental knowledge, he could understand everything from all angles of vision. King Malayadvaja could thus observe that the super soul was sitting by his side, and that he, as the individual soul, was sitting by the side of the super soul. Since both were together, there was no need for separate interests. Thus, he ceased from such activities.
So he left his body. Finally, that is the essence of this verse. O King, by direct vision of the Lord, who takes away all suffering, hmm, shining brightly everywhere, by the lamp of pure knowledge taught by Guru concerning Lord's sweetness, he saw, that is, Malayadvaja saw himself possessing love for the Lord, and saw the Lord possessing love for him. And after losing that vision, because of fainting, he gave up all connection with the gross and subtle body. So basically, the Lord manifested with his full opulences in front of his eyes, and the Lord disappeared. When Lord disappeared, he followed after the Lord, leaving this body behind. See, that is a attainment of prema. If one does not see the Lord, one does not want to stay anymore. Like today morning, Bhagavatam class is Baldev Prabhu was talking about Pandavas retired timely. As soon as Yudhishthira Maharaj understood that Lord Krishna left, he did not even want to stay anymore. He immediately coronated his grandson Parikshit as the next king. He started walking towards north and going back home back to Godhead. That is devotee, a premi bhakta. That is the mood of a devotee. Does not want to stay anymore other than without the Lord. So like that. Then when prema arose, he saw the Lord directly by the Supreme Lord who takes away all suffering with bright effulgence spreading everywhere, and by the lamp of knowledge the means of realization Lord's sweetness, what is taught by the Guru, one sees himself as the possessor of Rati for the Supreme Brahman, because it has already been said, Vasudeve Bhagavati Nanyad Vedo Bhavam Ratim. He saw only the Lord had Rati for Lord Vasudeva. He saw that he only had Rati for the Lord. He does not have any interest in this world. He just want to serve the Lord because that already manifested. That Idma Vaha means I just want to serve the Lord, nothing else I want. So he went to forest. Now we seeing the Lord. When Lord disappeared, hey, what law? What is this? If Lord is not there, why should I stay here? I am also going. That's how he left his body and went to the abode of the Lord. The Lord also says that ye etamam prapadyante tamstaya bhajamaham. According to how they surrender to me, I reward them. Thus he saw the Lord to be full of attraction for him, because he was attracted to Lord, and Lord also attracted to him. At that moment, giving up that vision because of fainting in bliss, he lost interest in grass and subtle coverings completely. So when Lord disappeared, he also went with the Lord, because he cannot live without the Lord and Lord cannot live without him. So Lord took him along with him to the spiritual world. So when we can't live even one single moment without the Lord also reciprocates the same way. The Lord also cannot live without us, even for a single moment. Such a devotee will be taken by the Lord personally to spiritual world. That is indicated here. So, but those who favor the regal aspect of the Lord explain the three verses in the following way. The king, so others, the logician, they speak about this verse in this way. The king, knowing the Supreme Lord as all pervading and also situated within the Jiva, gave up samsara. Examples are given of each vision. So, those who understand scriptures logically, those who explain in a logically way, they are saying that he realized the Paramatma. The all pervasiveness of the Lord is similar to the witness of reflection, the mind, which spreads through the body of the Jiva. The Lord within is similar to the realization in deep sleep that there is only one, the Atma. For one says, I slept soundly. So now, how do we understand somebody says that I have realized Paramatma? The simple example is that when somebody goes through deep sleep, he says, I had good sleep. Because he went through good sleep, so he could say, I went through good sleep. Same way, one realizes Paramatma in the core of the heart, then one says, I have realized Paramatma. One is simply not saying just like that. How does this knowledge arises? It arises from the Lord who is the witness. Dadami buddhiyogam tameno upayantite. So Lord only gives that experience. Lord only enables us to go through that experience and explain or express that experience. By the lamp of that knowledge, one sees the Supreme Lord, who is Ashraya Tattva, the pure Jiva, who takes shelter of the Jiva, who takes shelter of the Lord. And he sees in the pure Jiva, you, the Supreme Lord, presiding over the Jiva. Then he not only sees Paramatma within his own heart, but he sees Paramatma in the heart of each and every Jiva. For now, currently, he is in the forest. He will only see the plants, forest animals. So, in each and every plant, in each and every animal, in each and every grass, also is able to see the Paramatma. Yo pashyati mam sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. Those who see everything in me will be able to see everything in me. So, he has come to that point. He is only seeing the Supreme Lord. ಸ್ಥಾವರ ಜಂಗಮ ದೇಕಿ ನದೇಕಿ ತಾರಮೂರ್ತಿ ಸರ್ವತ್ರ ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಹೊಯ್ಬೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ದೇವ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ. So he is looking at the plants, water bodies, stones, and animals, but he is not seeing them. He is only seeing Paramatma. Paramatma everywhere. The all pervasive Lord is everywhere. First he was seeing the Paramatma in the heart. Now he is seeing Paramatma everywhere in front of his eyes. He attained this perfection, which is the symptom of prema. Thus, after obtaining prema, one gives up the process of reflection, because Bhagavatam is like the Mohini Avatara, giving nectar to the devotees and cheating the demons. Others interpret these verses differently. The pure devotees do not accept those interpretations. So, like that. So when one attains prema, one gives up the process of reflection, because the Bhagavatam is like the Mohini Avtara. So somebody even says that, oh no, I'm able to see Paramatma in my heart, I am able to see Paramatma in the heart of every living entity. Other people may say, what is this? What is this? What you are speaking? I can't see. How can you see? So it is like, just like Mohini Murti enables devatas to drink nectar, not asuras, the Supreme Lord enables the pure devotee, the Premi Bhaktas, to see him everywhere. But other people, they see the matter in the Lord only. That is love. That is how the Supreme Lord acts upon us. Only a Premi Bhakta will be able to see the Lord everywhere and everything. That state he has come. In that state, as soon as the Lord's vision disappeared, he left his body. He could not tolerate separation from the Lord. As soon as the Lord disappeared, he left his body. And following after the Lord, he went back to Godhead. So this is how Malayadvaja left his body. Hare Krishna. Any questions till now? Everyone is following?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhu.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, this is a story of Jiva, right?
Jivatma only. See, this is
And
how a
so हम
Jivatma
जब
finally should leave one's body. That is understanding.
तो when we are coming in the association of devotee, जैसे मलध्वज आया और उसको भक्तों का संग मिला और ये सब किया, तो हमारे जीवन में ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता है? So we are association with the devotees and everything we are doing, but we are
हाँ.
not developing that prema. Hare Krishna.
We are doing. We
हाँ,
should do it. But we should do the way they are doing. See, doing is good, but doing with intensity. Tivrena bhakti yogena ejeta purusham para. That tivrata should manifest. When that manifests, other things will take place automatically. See, it is not simply doing. With every point we need to see how he is doing is also important. When that he had a daughter represents Ruchi. That Ruchi married to Agastya. Agastya means mind, and they gave birth. That means the Ruchi manifest in the mind. The had the Ruchi means the taste in serving the Lord, nothing else. That led to Asakti. Only want to serve the Lord. That Asakti is represented by Durachita. And Durachita gave birth to Hidmavaha. Hidmavaha represents only Lord, nothing else.
okay.
Then
तो
he has
ये
given
सब
up his he has given up his kingdom, went to forest and serving the Lord. He was performing severe austerities for thousands of years, and then he came to the platform of Bhava, finally Prema, and in that Prema state he is able to see the Lord everywhere. When Lord's vision unmanifested, he left his body. Are we on that platform?
हम्म,
So it's
तो
like that.
इसके लिए जैसे इनको बहुत सारे प्राप्त, ये जो पुरंजन को थ्री बर्थ लगे, राइट? फर्स्ट पुरंजन, देन वाइफ, एंड देन उसका शादी हुआ, देन तो ये हमारे लिए भी यही स्टोरी के हम कहते हैं कि यही जन्म में हमको गोलोक मिल जाएगा, तो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट?
No, it's not like that. If one is serious, one can get it immediately.
कितना
It is
टाइम
not
हो
like
रहा? 1:30 बज
that.
रहा। सोने दो थोड़ा।
Puranjana, in his entire life, he only performed dharmic activities. He did not do bhakti activities. But since he is doing dharmic activities, somehow or other, unknowingly, he performed some ajna sukriti also. As a result of that, in the next life, he came in touch with a bona fide guru. Now we are only discussing about guru. The guru only attained perfection is going back to Godhead. The Puranjana is still there only. Puranjana is the basically now. She is the Vaidharbhi. She is the wife of this Malayadvaja. That means we need to take shelter of such kind of guru who is so determined and so serious in one's practice of bhakti. This is about the discussion about Malayadvaja is about discussion about guru. Then when one becomes a disciple of such kind of guru, just by looking at guru and by following in the footsteps of guru, one will also attain the same thing. That is what will come in the next section. Now till now, what the currently the discussion about Malayadvaja is all about guru. What guru is doing, and what the Puranjana as the woman being his wife, what she will do, what the disciple will do. So then this that 43rd verse onwards will be explained.
Okay.
That means the previous verse talks about what is the qualification of a guru? How strong, how determined, how focused the guru should be. So that is being indicated.
Okay, thank you, Puji.
Any other devotees have any questions? Okay. Patim paramadharmagnyam Hare Krishna.
Patim paramadharmatnyam
Vaidharbhi Malayadvajam
Vaidharbhi Malayadvajam
Premna Paryacharaditva
Premnam
Andhra
Paryacharaditva
Bhogan Sapati Devata.
Bhogan Sapati Devata. The daughter of King Vidarbha accepted her husband, all in all, as the supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and, in complete renunciation, followed the principles of her husband, who was so advanced. Thus, she remained engaged in his service.
So, till now, the austerities performed by Malayadvaja, they are all described. Now, having gone to forest, what Malayadvaja did with Disa, and what his wife was doing, how she is faring herself, and how she is taking care of herself, how she is serving her husband. So, her details are mentioned now. Vaidharbhi, seeing her husband as the Lord, served her husband, the highest knower of Dharma, with devotion, giving up all enjoyment. For a wife, husband is the supreme lord. For a disciple, guru is the supreme lord. So like that one should serve. The disciple remain the disciple remains serving the guru until attaining perfection. That is shown in 4 verses. The next 4 verses talks about it. So the disciple remains serving the guru until attaining perfection. Chiravasa vratakshama
Kshiravasa Vratakshama
Veni bhuta shiroruha
Bhuta Shiroruha
Babau upapatim shanta
Babau Upapadim Shanta
Shika shantam ivanalam.
Shika Shantam Nivanalam. When one begins to burn firewood, there is smoke and agitation in the beginning. Although there are so many disturbances in the beginning, once the fire is the daughter of King Vidarbha wore old garments, and she was lean and thin because of her vows of austerity. Since she did not arrange her hair, it became entangled and twisted in locks. Although she remained always near her husband, she was as silent and unagitated as the flame of an undisturbed fire.
Wearing old clothing, thin because of austerity, with hair tangled, peaceful, like the coals of a fire without flame, she remained by the side of her husband. Upa means near the husband, silently lower in position. She was peaceful like the coals of fire, just shining but without smoke. So basically, she simply followed her husband, served him whatever way that is required, and husband is following severe austerities, and she is simply assisting in whichever way possible. So like that. Ajanati priyatamam
Ajananti Priyatamam
yedoparatam anaga angana
Yado Paratam Angana
sustirasanam asadya
Susthirasanam Asadya
yata purvam upacharat.
Yata Purvam Upacharat. The daughter of King Vidarbha continued as usual to serve her husband, who was seated in a steady posture, until she could ascertain that he has passed away from the body.
Hmm. When he passed away, she approached her husband, sitting in a fixed position, and served him as before, unaware of his passing. Because he would sit in that yoga posture, Padmasan, he would meditate for a long time, morning to evening, something like that. And she thought, okay, it is the same thing. He is simply meditating. So she cleaning the nearby area and so doing so many other things. But at one point of time, she touched his feet. Then she understood he left his body. He is no more alive. यदा नोपलभेताङ्ग्राव
Yata no balabedan grau
उष्मानं पत्युरर्चति
ushmanam patyur archati
आसीत् संविघ्नहृदया
asit samvigna hrudaya
यूता भृष्टा मृगीयता.
yutha brishta mrigi yata.
So when she could not feel the warmth in her husband's feet as she served him, she became disturbed in heart, like a doe bereft of her partner. So while cleaning the nearby areas, she happened to touch his feet, but there is no warmth in the feet. As we were discussing last class, that when a person dies, the whole body becomes cold. So his body was cold. So she understood he is no more. Atmanam sochati dinam
Atmanam sochati dinam
abandhum viklavashrubhi
abandhum viklavashrubi
stanav ashishya vipine
tanau asishya vipine
sushvaram prarurodasa.
sushvaram prarudosha.
Lamenting her pitiable condition without a husband, wetting her breast with tears, she cried loudly in the forest. So, in the forest, there in the wilderness, husband was there till now. Now husband gone. She's alone. Not she's not crying because she's alone. She's crying because husband left. So she came to the forest along with her husband, thinking that husband is null. So he left. Similarly, when the Guru leaves his mortal body, the disciple becomes overcome with lamentation, with pain of separation, like a wife for her departed husband. That is described here. She lamented her condition. Who will protect me from now on? Thus she became grief stricken. Uttishtottishta rajarshe
Uttishta uttishta rajarshe
imam udadi me kalam
imam udati mekalam
dasyudbhyam kshatra bandubhyo
dashyubhya chakrabandubhyo
दिव्यतीं पातुमर्हसि.
divyatim patum arhasi.
Get up, O saintly king, O Rajarshi. You must protect this frightened earth surrounded by the seas from thieves and false kings. So she's saying that, my dear king, please get up, get up. If you are not there, then what will happen to the entire world? In the previous verse, she was saying, what about me? But in the current verse, she's saying that, what about the entire world? So you are a dharmic king, you need to protect the entire world. If you go away, then what will happen to the world? The disciples should cry like this. O Guru, protect this earth in which you established bhakti, which is now frightened by those opposing bhakti. Till now, opposing all the antagonist people, you spread bhakti all over the world. But if you live in your absence, the antagonists become stronger and they will destroy the bhakti of all the devotees. Please get up and protect them. Like that, the disciple cries. एवं विलम्पन्ति बाला
Evam vilapanti bala
विपिनेऽनुगतापतिम्
vipinenu gatapatim
पतिता पादयोर्भर्तृ
patita padayor bhartu
रुदति अश्रूणि अवर्तयत्.
rudati ashruni avartayat.
Lamenting in the forest, the woman, obedient to her husband, falling at the feet of her husband, wailed and began to shed tears. So she is crying sorrowfully. But जो हुआ हुआ उसको रिटर्न नहीं कर सकते. क्षितिं धारुमयीं चित्वा
चितिं दारुमयं चित्वा
तस्यां पत्युकलेवरम्
तस्यां पत्युकलेवरम्
आदिप्या चानुमरणे
आदित्या चानुमरणे
विलम्पन्ति मनोददे.
विलम्पन्ति मनोददे.
After piling up wood and lighting fire on the body of her husband, on the pyre, in a state of lamentation, she decided to die with her husband. She was crying, crying, crying. How long she will cry? She said, no, both okay. I came along with my husband. I'll go along with my husband. I'll prepare the final wood. I'll lit fire and I'll enter. I'll commit sati. I'll go along with my husband. She decided and she will execute it. That execution will be explained in the next verse onwards. She will prepare fire and she will go to what river and take bath and she will come back and she lit fire and she was about to enter into the fire. That time one person comes and stops her. She placed the body on the pyre and it ablaze with fire. So then what is the understanding here? Having performed the last rites for his guru, the disciple then decides in his mind, separated from the feet of my guru, I cannot maintain my life. My body is burning in the fire of lamentation on remembering his qualities. I cannot put my energy in the bhakti of hearing and chanting that he taught. Therefore, I will die today. That is shown here. Similarly, a disciple also determines that I don't want to live anymore. I will die today. So, fine. So, the next section will begin where that Vaidharbhi takes instructions from Avijnata, her old unknown friend. The interesting section that we will discuss later. This is where I want to stop for today. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions before we close?
No, Prabhuji.
No questions. Everyone is happy. Subject is also little sorrowful.
Yes.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, I purchased those 125 years and I'm started reading. I want to, one chapter only I finished. Difficult to understand, Prabhu.
Difficult to understand. Why?
Very, many names and many characters and like, it's just getting, crumble like, overlapping.
No, don't worry. See, for you just to remember them is very difficult, but Vyasadev has written it. So, matlab, it is nothing but simply Mahabharata only. It is not some unusual, some fairy tale or something like that. We are
No, it is
supposed to.
reality only. But so many characters which we have never heard of. I myself have never heard of before Shantanu.
that is
Shantanu के आगे कुछ नहीं
that is a
पढ़ा था
problem.
मैंने.
That is not only a problem with you. That is a problem with all of us. Since childhood, we are supposed to hear, read Ramayana, Mahabharata every day and every now and then, but we have not done so. At least better late than never.
Yes.
So once in our lifetime, we should read properly. We should read with the proper understanding of the Acharya's commentaries. We should
Mahabharata I read, but not all those characters. I have just read after Shantanu.
You should be excited. You should be excited. Oh, ऐसा भी है, ऐसा भी है, ऐसा भी है करके like you should be excited.
It is very, मतलब मजा आ गया. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, whatever you read, you please share with your other family members. So everyone should know all these things. It is not that they are not like imaginary characters. They are all great devotees of the past. When we read about them, when we hear about them, we will get inspiration. That inspiration only will sustain us in our bhakti.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is the whole
Thank
idea.
you very much. Just want to tell you thank you for that.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हाँ
प्लीज
माताजी,
एक्सेप्ट माय हम्बल ओबेइसेंसेस। प्रभु
करेक्ट।
जी, आज की उसमें हमने पढ़ा कि गुरु को
सॉरी सॉरी,
सर्व करना
यस।
सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। यस, यू टोल्ड few verses were there like that, and but एक जगह आता है कि गुरु मतलब when you are in neophyte stage it is harmful for your guru also and it is harmful for you also. Then how to understand this thing, Prabhuji?
No, see, it is now there is no question of no fight. One has come all the way up to fourth canto reading systematically means one is already in the process, spent good amount of time. Now there should be no question of new fight, all these things. It's all done because one already having taken shelter of Guru, one having shown the surrender. Now one cannot live without Guru. Even after later on we will discuss this point in the next section, it will come. So here a wife cannot live without husband, that's why she enters into sati. And
Yes.
a disciple cannot live without Guru, but the disciple does not enter sati, but the disciple dedicates one's life only for the mission of Guru.
Yes.
That is as good as entering sati. That means there is no personal life afterwards.
Yes.
That is
So
what is
then,
indicated in this chapter.
okay, so then Vapu Seva also, like we should not be fearful of our offenses or mental offenses. We even can go for Vapu service also. We should not feel like how it will be.
Yes, yes. It is directly or indirectly, it should be done. That is also, if possible, whenever possible, it should be done.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Because from
See,
few days it was coming
now,
into my mind, and
see,
today the point came.
there is a contextual difference. See, when
Hmm.
Bhagavatam was spoken, it was like that time, seeing the things at that time, it is being spoken. But now the situations are different. See, now, in those days, the Guru would live in the Gurukul, in the ashram, would be in the forest, and whoever is studying, they would be there nearby Guru and they'll be serving. And the Guru would be
Yes.
constantly traveling. He will not stay at one place. He will be traveling from one place to other place and preaching and teaching, etc.
Yes.
Okay? Sannyasi Gurus are not supposed to stay at one place. So when a Guru is constantly traveling, whose disciples are at different places, so whichever place he is there, where whoever disciples are accompanying him, they continue to serve him.
Yes, but this happens now also, Prabhuji.
Now the things are
Guru is
wait,
traveling.
now the things are different. Even when in his old age, the Guru will be at one place. The entire world can travel to him. Now we have travel facilities, but in those days it was not so much. If when a disciple comes to that Guru is falling sick, all devotees will come there. There are
Yes.
thousands of disciples will come there, but everyone cannot serve. Vapu Seva. So see the context. Don't apply everything as it is, but wherever opportunity is there, one should be ready to serve.
Okay.
If they happen to be nearby.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji.
So like
Thank
that we
you.
have to
I
understand.
got it. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think my few like this one mini test also, mini grand test also given na again. One more.
I don't
Because
remember. You just check the Excel sheet, how many you are given, how many are pending. So
okay,
see
because I
that.
missed two classes in between, so I was fearful. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Any
Prabhuji,
other
I'll check.
question from any other devotees? Okay. Fine. Thank you very much for joining
Thank you,
today.
Prabhuji.
So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue in the next class. We will complete this chapter in the next class.